new day working on Griz. Got Kaden working on pulling this framework out and the big hole in the back of the cab. We got to get that filled in. It hurts my soul to see a big hole cut in the back of one of these cabs. We've gone just about as far as we can go on the frame part of it. What I'm going to do is pull the leaf springs off of the old frame section, and we're just going to temporarily tack them to the new frame so we can move it around a lot easier, not have to use the tractor and move it like a big wheelbarrow. I think if we can get this rear axle in right, we can reuse the original drive line and still drive it for the time being. We have quite a bit of stuff to do before I start on the rear suspension that's going to be in it, so it'd be nice to be able to have it movable.
Don't you think it'd be easier? We just went on each side and then we just walk right back to the boom then. Because there's just kind of pull back out. Yeah. Then all we gotta do is patch this a little bit because then we got a factory seam and then we just cut here and pinch it. We'll make it look nice. Wow. I haven't had rivets that easy to come off in a long time.
See how Kean's doing? Wow, looks like those came off in a big hurry. Usually these rivets are a disaster.
Yeah, so a lot of these three I got in and was able to just like put either an X or a cut through with a cutoff wheel, but these bottom ones the leaf spring was covering, so I wasn't able to. So I just got in there with the air chisel. It's like, well, I'll hope for the best. I think it was this one. It was like 3 hits with the air chisel and the head was popped off. All these rivets on these spring hangers were loose. This thing was coming apart. Like all the structure of everything on the frame we've touched.
Yeah. All that weight for all those years, it was just rattling things loose. You can actually see right there where the spring hanger had been moving around some. But it looks like you got one stubborn rivet over on this side in the front.
It's the last rivet. It's moving.
Oh, it is now. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, cuts them
No, the bracket fits. We'll go with the air chisel and just pry the bracket off.
Perfect. And then the ones on the front on this side, were they?
Yeah, they all came off. Literally every rivet except this last one has come right out.
Don't forget you gotta unbolt the shocks too, so.
Oh yeah. That's my strap when this falls. That is the only rivet that's actually been hard the whole time. The rest of them, it was pretty much just rattled enough that it let go on the outside, and then the inner part where they went under the cross member just had to hit them a little bit and then they came out.
Wow.
That is the only one.
Yep.
And I think that's halfway because it's holding everything up.
Possibly. And you can kind of see right there where we cut it, how much rust had built up inside of it. It's the cruddy welds that they did.
Well, every time you weld, you can introduce rust if you don't.
Oh, you've already started the rust process, so.
That's why we did the weld through on the new frame.
And then we'll seal it up too.
There we go.
Kean has this rear axle all cut out, ready to go. We saved the spring hangers so we can reuse them on this. And then we have a frame mount back that's bare that's missing these brackets as well. So when we're done with them on this project, we'll go bolt them on that other frame, make that frame more complete. This frame is scrap. It's in pretty bad shape. Not much we can do with it anyway. Where it's a cabin chassis type frame, they're different than a regular pickup frame anyway. Got Kean over here now. Gonna pull some of the stuff off of the front end on this. get ready to pull the front top off. We just wanted to show this old museum relic of a battery. I haven't seen one of these in, oh, I don't know, 15 years or more, probably 20 years. It's even an old Fred Meyer. I don't even know what the date is on that battery.
There isn't a date, I've looked, but you can see the bulge right there, how frozen it's been. It's way bad.
Time for that homely piece of metal to go in the garbage can.
This bumper,
Yeah.
as soon as I can get this nut to let go off the socket, I'll get the last 2 bolts out.
Yeah, it's rusty.
Oh, here's a trick, in case anyone wanted to know. When you get a nut stuck in your wobbly socket, just thread it back on, use that extension as a pry bar. Okay, one more bolt after that. Okay. Now, mallet?
No,
Probably
big
a
hammer.
hammer.
Full on hammer.
Okay, you ready? Well, let me have it. You want to do it? Okay.
Just gotta knock the bolts out.
Okay. Wow, that's great. Hold on, just hold it.
Can pull those brackets out. The reproduction ones are never bent right.
Oh, this one's got the shims.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Most of them didn't have shims. And whatever ones did, the shims are long gone. I think that's only the second set of shims I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's...
And it's not like we've only torn like 2 of these trucks apart.
Yeah.
We truck Lasers and Suburbans, and now cab and chassis.
Looks way better.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't look like it has a fat lip anymore. Have the driveline put back in the way it was originally built. So we should be able to slide the rear end in, hook up the driveline, have it to where it can move under its own power. My next project is see if I can get this mess cleaned up. As you can see, when they originally built it, they just torched this whole thing out. And then they took the inside panel, beat it over, and then welded it. It's pretty ugly. And then in here, they took and knocked that over and that over. I'll see what I can do to straighten that back out. I want to reuse as much as I possibly can. So I'm hoping to be able to cut this seam right here, straighten this back out, maybe straighten some of this out, and then the same thing here, match the contour, and make it so the back window will go back in. I haven't found a cab that was in bad enough shape where I could justify cutting the back of it out as used as a donor sheet. 5 years ago, I probably would have known where 3 cabs are, but the cabs are getting so hard to find. And the ones that are out there are still restorable, so I just can't make myself cut up a restorable cab. I just got this piece of sheet metal right here on the floor, so I'll just make one. So I did a bunch of measuring, knowing what the bed length and the boom length is going to be, and I marked this as my center line, or where the rear axle is going to be. So we just rolled this back in, put the original drive line back in the original configuration, and it's in the exact same spot.
You want to measure, see if it's the factory 133?
Yeah.
Plus you got a tape.
This is a cab and chassis. So a long bed truck, the wheelbase was 127. A cab and chassis was 133. So this one is 133. Just the way it sits, so.
That's awesome.
I'll probably move the front axle center line probably 2 inches farther forward, 2 to 3, so the tire doesn't rub here. And then all I have to do is open this fender opening farther forward, and then I cut that off at the bottom.
Is that what you did on the Blazer? Was that same thing? Was it 2 inches forward?
It's about just under 2 inches forward, and it doesn't rub there, but it does rub here. But this truck's gonna be shorter than the Blazer.
Shorter meaning lower to the ground.
Yeah, it'll be 2 inches lower to the ground, so. At least that's the goal, as long as I can get it to clear the engine, so.
Question,
Okay.
factory length, will it wheel good?
Yes, I'm betting, I don't know what Paul's wheelbase is, but it's gotta be within 3 or 4 inches of what this is gonna be. Like a JT is 137 inch wheelbase, so this will actually be shorter than a JT.
JT's a Gladiator.
So Gladiator's 137 inch wheelbase. This one will be right in the 135 range. Same wheelbase, way shorter overall, because I think a Gladiator is 220-ish inches overall.
And the Gladiator has almost 2 feet behind the rear tire.
Well, we can measure this.
Oh.
This overall is 194. That is 2 feet shorter than a Gladiator overall. Just want to keep the overall length short so we can have minimal overhangs. And then the other goal is to keep this tire as far back as we can. So with that tire and the tire on the towed vehicle are as close as they can together.
Did you catch that? Towed vehicle.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, when the tire's farther back, then that gives us less leverage, because the longer from between the center line of the tire and the rear bumper, the more leverage there is back here to try and pick the front of the truck up.
I'm probably going to spend more time on this than I should since it's a temporary deal, but I'm going to measure, make sure this is in pretty square, and same with ride height. That way it doesn't mess with anything I do to the front, so I want everything fairly square and straight and level to begin with. I'll just put a couple of tacks on each one of these hangers to hold it in place. That'll make her a roller again. Kind of fun to see it back and so much shorter and way more manageable. I'll get that done real quick, then I can get the jack stands out of the way, get the drive line put back in.
So we got the rear axle on, but it's only tacked because it's not gonna be permanent. It's gonna be 4 link in the back, so no burnouts till we do that. So, this is only to get it in and out. That's it. So, yeah.
Time to get this big old hole patched up. Just gonna start by cutting this ugly bit of nastiness out. Time to break out the cutoff tools and the hammer and dollies and all that other fun stuff. I got this panel built and mostly welded in, still got some finish work to do on it. I was taking a break from it while that was cooling down, and I built this inner panel that will fit right in here. Right. Something like that. Still need to finish trimming. I had to build these in 2 pieces, and the reason being is the top of the glass is curved, and there was no way with the tools that I have to be able to do those compound curves. So I got this built, and I'll show you what the next step is.
Not stock, they're 2 pieces anyways. see the little dots, like right there, where they spot weld them. And then you can see the seam, where they put them together. That's how you know they're two pieces.
Okay, so this is curved. This is just a piece of sheet metal that I bent to finish this up, but I have to put a curve to it to match the profile of this back window, so the back window will fit. In order to do that, well, I'll have to, yep, that's right. I'll have to shrink it, huh?
Yep.
So if I stretch it, it'll make it a frowny. If I shrink it, then it'll make it a smiley, huh? Okay, we like smileys.
Yeah, or if it flips around the other way around, but...
Yep, that's what this piece of equipment is right here. So we just stick this in there, and then
Don't do too much.
doesn't need a lot. Probably about
Try that.
that much. Yep.
Is
Let's
it
go try
smiling?
a little bit. It's mildly amused. So the way this works, it has the shrinker dies in it now, but these are the stretching dies. And so they work just the opposite. So as you can see, when you push down, it has that wedge. And as you push down on it, it spreads it apart. So it grabs the metal with those sharp fingers and just pulls it to stretch it. So the shrinking dies do the opposite. They're cut out this way, and then they grab it and then push it together.
Yeah, like a V.
Yeah, so you can kind of
V
see.
this way, not a V this way.
Yeah, so you can kind of see where it kind of bunched everything up just a little bit right through there. Just that little bit. Let's see if it matches the.
Dad, does it weaken material?
Nope. If you do it too much, you can overwork it. So there you can see it lines up with the profile of the.
Maybe just shrink it barely right there.
Yeah, probably one right there, huh? Because it's just. Yep, you're right. Just one right there, huh?
Yep.
They'll be exact. So we'll do that.
How old are you again?
I'm 11, turning 12 this year.
I can hardly wait when he turns into a teenager. He really does know it all, huh? Let's see what Corbin shrink did. Is that perfect? Is that good, Corbin? Is that past inspection?
Good enough for this for.
Who's this for?
You?
Okay, it's good enough for me, okay. All right, how about this one? Does this inner piece pass inspection too?
Exact same.
Okay, exact same.
Maybe just a little.
Still good enough for who it's for?
Maybe just it's just a little bit more exact than this one, because this one right there is just a little off.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine. It's good enough.
It's good enough? Okay. Because I'm a little off too, huh?
How rude.
So this will be the piece for here. So I think rather than weld it and have it mess up all the profile of everything, I'll glue it. Use some panel bond to glue those together so the heat doesn't warp this piece of sheet metal and change the shape of everything. And I'll do the same with this one for the outer piece. If you get a good bond on there is no way for water to get behind it. You just make sure you have enough that it squeezes out the edge here, and it'll seal that edge like seam sealer. And it's actually quite a bit stronger than a weld. I have this piece pretty well welded up on the back of the cab here, and then I made this bottom piece, put the same radius in it as to match the glass, and got it panel bonded in. I didn't want to weld it because all the heat from the weld would change the shape and the contours of this, just create a big mess. A lot less rust problems than with welding it too. On the inside, I can't really put this piece in until all of this dries and I can pull all this bracing out. But I do have everything all built. Have the flange that goes right there is all ready to go. This piece is all fitted and ready to weld in. So once I get that done, I just need to make sure on this edge here where it butts up to the back window, need to make sure that's right. so this piece sits in correctly. Once that's good, I can panel bond these two together, stick it in, weld it, and it's good to go. So while that's happening, building this piece right here below the back window, I'm getting ready to make the final bend. It's back here in the sheet metal brake. Kaden's over here messing with this transfer case, kind of the bane of our existence. So
yeah, there it is. So the input seal's leaking.
yeah,
We had to, well, pull the clocking ring back off, and then our little timing piece. So we actually Loctited it on there previously, so I had to.
yeah, we had to heat it up and pull it off. Those of you that watch Paul's channel, he just did that on Landon's, but I've done this on a couple of them. So Caden's Blazer has this, and my Blazer has it as well for the output speed sensor to make the transmission shift right. Back to the task at hand. I get this piece made. Got that. This is a bend that goes up to the back window. That's the body line there below the back window, and then I'm getting ready to put this bend in. That's the bend that goes right above the corrugated. Get that out. Okay, let's go see how it fits. Hey, you're making a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, you still got fluid in there, huh? Oh yeah, I would have to since it was leaking.
Yeah.
Oh well, should be fine.
It's not gonna make a huge mess.
It might. We got rags.
Okay.
Maybe. Do we? We've had lots of spills. Oh no, we're out of rags. You may want to set that up more on its end. That might stay. Just watch your fingers. And then there's a
Oh yeah,
spot
there's a
right
little.
there.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Stick your
handy.
screwdriver in there, and oops, I don't want to leave that there because if it falls, it'll mangle all my hard work. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I think it might actually work. This body line right here isn't real close, but that was about the best I could do with what I have here. It'll disappear behind all of the tow trucky things. So I just need to clean these up where they took and torched it all and trim this to fit, and I can start tacking. As I was trying to fit this panel I just made, I realized that the back of this cab's kind of a mess. This passenger side is sucked in quite a ways. The driver's side seems to be fairly straight. This side's in quite a ways, as you can see, like 3/8. Just trying to rig up a way to where I can pull this passenger side back out. So I got this long piece of steel that goes all the way in to help spread the stress out, and a pair of vice grips to hold it, second pair of vice grips to hold it, and then this ratchet strap that goes to the back of the frame. Let's see what I get. That did anything. Oh, yeah. That's right on the money now. Well, I think I got it. Don't think I ruined anything. Some dents right here where the vice grips were at. But I don't see any other damage. Okay. I'm glad. There just isn't anything with any strength back here to hook onto, so I was glad I didn't make a huge mess with the whole thing. And I've got this piece all tacked in. While it's cooling down, I'm going to start working on this big piece that fills this big hole. Since I'm not going to use these corrugated pieces, I'm going to go to a little bit thicker sheet metal. This is 18 gauge. I'll probably put a really light cross brake in it. Help keep it from oil cannon. Since you won't see any of that back there, I don't think it's worth the effort of trying to build this corrugated piece.
You've been busy.
Oh, trying to be. Hopefully this all works out. Got that piece
To be honest, it can't be much worse than what was already there.
Oh yeah,
hole in the
it's,
thing.
it's way better. So hopefully, time I'm done, it mostly looks like it was never there. Yeah, that looks pretty okay, doesn't it? So again, trimming across the bottom, get it fit. But I'll get some tacks in it, and then I'll do that. Well, I got this all put together, sorta. Got it in there. I still need to trim across the bottom and finish tacking that. I got this all glued there, and enough tacks to hold it in place while that glue sets. And while that was cooling down, I went in, got this piece all put together, and it's tacked in there pretty good as well. I got this glued to there, and then the flange glued to this piece, kind of like the sour piece that I showed you earlier. Got it all clamped to hold that together so that glue will set. I've got as much done on this as I can. It's working out pretty good. As you can see, I still have lots of welding to do. And I still have that piece on the floor to fit there. Also, we got that braces made. I don't have those fully welded in. As you can see on that one, I don't have it welded on the inside. There'll also be a gusset here to tie the bottom of the frame together. But the lower link on the 4-link system is going to tie into that, so I need to get ride height and stuff figured out, all my links laid out before I put that in, but it will get gusseted to strengthen that. I'm going to take a break from welding for a minute, see if I can do something about this poor hood. As you can see, it's dipped down pretty bad in the middle there.
Because the coach was pushing on it with the air.
Yep, it was all that air off the front of the coach was pushing down on the hood.
You might be able to see that on the drive home.
Yeah, you can see how far that hood's sagged in the middle and how flimsy it is. Yeah, it pushed a lot of air on it. You can see it's even bent those down just a little bit. But these were never very good. They never had any bracing in the middle. So what I do to fix that is I like to take a piece of 3/4 inch or 1 inch square tube. I just happen to have this rusty piece of 1 inch sitting outside that kind of matches the underside of the hood anyway. So this is about 34, 35 inches long. And then I take and bend it. So you can put about a 1/2 inch arch in it right there. And then I just put these little notches in the end to fit into the existing structure that's under the hoods. Put this in. There it goes. And, so then I just can push on that. Use a screwdriver right up into place. There we go. Pretty good, huh?
Yep.
See? Stiffens that right up. And then let's pull this hood back down.
See if it close the filter.
Oh, it'll clear.
Ah!
Nice and strong. And the cool part is it puts the shape back into the hood. You can see it's got about the right amount of crown in it. No more watching it bounce when you go down the highway. When I do fix this hood for good, I'll probably see if I can bend those braces just a little bit to put a little bit more pressure on the underside of the skin through here. You can see there's no pressure on them here or here. So I'll bend those a little bit. Time to go back to welding and see if I can get the back of this cab fairly well wrapped up. I've got another project coming in next week, so I just want to get a couple of these details rounded up because it'll be a couple weeks before I can get back on Griz. So hopefully time I get this other one done, I'll have a whole stack of parts for Griz and we can talk about the final layout of it.
Say it needs it. Oh, it's better. No, other side.
Hey, what are you doing to my Griz? You're defacing my stuff with my sticker?
Can't see it from the outside.
Okay, that's probably good. Might be the best part of the whole thing, huh? Hopefully soon we'll have a back window in it, so.
Yeah.
With a little luck, this might be the last time it comes in with a strap.
Yeah.
Did you say that's what we said all the other times?
Yeah.
Look at that antenna, it's waving clear out there. What are you shaking your head about?
This thing's a gut beater.
Really?
My gosh.
Maybe it's because it doesn't have 10,000 pounds hanging on the back.
And have 500 pounds hanging off the back. So.
Yeah.
Caden's been working on this project over here. He finally got his transfer case all sealed back up. We threw it back up in for what, the 87,000th time it seems. But yeah, it's not been real great, so but hopefully we got it this time. Got the transfer case shift cable in, shifters in up there, as you can see. There's the new shifter. Looks really nice, fits in here pretty good. We'll need to do just a little bit more adjustment on it, but let's see. You can see works really smooth, super easy to work. So I like it. We'll make a boot for it when we get the carpet put in, cover that all up, but this is all stainless and just nice and clean. Have a nice shift knob for it somewhere. The knob's in the shop here somewhere. Yeah, it worked out really good, so hopefully we can move on, get past this whole shifter saga. Oh, there's the shift knob.
That was in the box with the visors and stuff.
And then the other good bit is this drive line over here. This was my front drive line out of my Blazer. It just so happens to be the exact right length to be the rear drive line in this Blazer, so it's a good score. Free drive line for Kaden. Yippee. That takes care of it for this week. Till next time, remember our happiness depends more on what's inside rather than our external circumstances. Thanks for watching.